Guys, there's been a massive shakeup in the MLB that's sending shockwaves through the New York Yankees fan base, and honestly, it's one of those stories that could completely reshape the team heading into the offseason. The Yankees have been dealing with a whirlwind of issues over the past several weeks, and when you look at the roster, there are so many positions that are far from settled for the long-term future. What we're seeing now is a potential opportunity to address one of those spots in a way that could provide stability for years to come. But it's a situation filled with questions, trade possibilities, and some big decisions that could define the team's direction. The backdrop here is that the Yankees have been through a lot lately. Things started off looking strong, promising even, but in a matter of months, the energy around the team has shifted dramatically. The lineup and roster are solid in many areas, no doubt, but when you dig into positions like shortstop, catching, and even the bullpen, there's a lot that feels uncertain. Fans have been looking at the front office, hoping that moves will be made to strengthen key areas and ensure the Yankees don't just stay competitive, but actually have a blueprint for sustained success. That's where the latest news comes in, and it's making headlines because one name that was considered untouchable for years could now be available: Adley Rutman. Adley Rutman, who began his career as one of the most promising catchers in the league, is suddenly at the center of trade speculation. Just a short time ago, Rutman was viewed as the future cornerstone for the Orioles behind the plate, and now reports suggest he could be moved as soon as this winter. It's a move that's surprising at first glance, considering his earlier seasons. But when you start to look at the numbers and the trajectory, it begins to make sense why Baltimore might be open to such a deal. Rutman has built a career batting average of .256 with over 230 runs batted in, and his OPS has hovered around .758. Those numbers alone would make him a valuable asset, but this past season has been rough. His batting average has dropped to .227, power numbers are lacking, and his OPS has fallen to .684 with an OPS plus of 91. For a player who once seemed destined to dominate at his position, these stats have raised eyebrows and created a lot of questions about consistency and long-term performance. What's fascinating is how the narrative has shifted. Rutman was once an elite hitting catcher, the kind of player who could anchor a lineup and handle the responsibilities of his position at a high level. In his second year, he reached all-star status and carried himself like a future face of a franchise. Even in his third year, which ended just last season, he still earned all-star recognition, showing flashes of brilliance. But somewhere along the way, the momentum started to fade. By the tail end of the last season, and continuing into the current one, Rutman has struggled to maintain the same production. Whether it's injuries, timing issues, or just the ebb and flow of performance, the decline has been enough to make teams question what his next step should be and whether he can regain that earlier form. Adding another layer to this story is the emergence of Samuel Basallo, who has started to take on some catching duties for the Orioles. Despite having just 23 at-bats in his MLB career so far, Basallo has shown enough potential to secure a major contract extension, locking him in with Baltimore for the next 7 years. That commitment sends a clear message. The Orioles are planning for the future with Basallo at the helm. While there has been discussion about whether Rutman and Basallo could coexist on the same roster, there's no guarantee that the Orioles will pursue that path. And that uncertainty is what makes this situation so compelling for teams like the Yankees, who could potentially see a path to acquiring a player of Rutman's caliber. Now, for the Yankees, catcher has never been the most pressing need. It's not the position that screams for a blockbuster solution, at least not in the same way shortstop or even certain pitching roles might. That said, there is definitely room for improvement. The question becomes whether bringing in a proven player like Rutman makes sense, especially with someone like Ben Rice performing well in recent months, boasting an OPS of .882 since mid-July and maintaining a batting average over .250. Even so, the long-term question looms. Do the Yankees want Rice to be their primary catcher, or do they take a risk on Rutman and reconfigure the roster? Shortstop, of course, is where the Yankees' immediate needs are most glaring. Anthony Volpe has not solidified himself as a long-term solution, and the team has to confront the reality that this is a position requiring attention if they want sustained competitiveness. The bullpen, while improved in certain areas, has had its share of volatility, and there are lingering questions about the health and reliability of key arms. In this context, the catcher conversation becomes intertwined with broader roster strategy. Every decision about who plays where and who might be moved or signed impacts multiple areas of the team, from infield alignment to outfield flexibility and even first base. Looking at first base, there are questions about Aaron Judge's future placement. If he remains in the outfield, that opens first base to other players, but if he transitions permanently to first, the ripple effect impacts the rest of the lineup and the team's defensive configuration. Outfield depth is another puzzle. With free agents in the mix and young players still developing, there's a delicate balance between retaining proven talent and promoting emerging prospects. The Yankees front office will have to make strategic choices, weighing the risk and reward of every move, from potential trades like Rutman's to internal promotions and contract extensions. Another layer is managerial direction. Aaron Boone's future as manager is uncertain, and the next manager, whoever that may be, will have opinions that affect decisions about the roster, particularly a catcher. Whether they prefer Rice, Wells, or even someone new like Rutman, those preferences will influence how the Yankees approach the offseason. It's not just about stats or contracts. It's about philosophy, how players fit into the vision for the team, and who is trusted to handle critical roles behind the plate and throughout the lineup. In essence, the Yankees are facing a multifaceted challenge. There are strong performers, potential stars in the minors, aging veterans, injury concerns, and a managerial transition to consider. The question of acquiring a player like Adley Rutman is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's a move that could bring stability to a key position, but it also comes with risk, not only in performance, but in how it affects the development of younger players and the balance of the roster. Every decision is interconnected, and the choices made this offseason will reverberate for years to come. As we dig even deeper into the Yankees' offseason outlook, the complexity of the situation becomes more and more evident. The team isn't just facing questions about individual positions. They're dealing with a domino effect where one move influences several others. Take the catching situation, for example. If the Yankees decide to pursue Adley Rutman, it's not simply about adding a new player. It's about rethinking the roles of Ben Rice and Austin Wells, considering who starts where, who backs up, and how this affects other parts of the lineup. Rice has proven he can hit for both average and power, maintaining an OPS that is remarkable for a catcher. And yet, the question remains whether he is the long-term solution. Wells, meanwhile, has struggled in his early career, but has shown flashes of potential that suggest he could turn things around. The front office has to weigh the immediate impact versus long-term growth, and that's never an easy decision, especially when other roster areas are in flux. Then there's the question of the infield beyond catcher. Shortstop has been the glaring weakness for the Yankees, and it's hard to overstate just how critical it is to find a long-term answer at that position. Anthony Volpe has had moments of promise, but his inconsistency is a problem the team cannot ignore. The Yankees have to decide if they want to commit to a high-profile free agent, pursue a trade, or take a leap of faith with a younger player who isn't yet proven at the major league level. Each option carries risk, whether in terms of contract length, potential performance, or how it fits into the overall team strategy. And that's before we even consider the domino effects in the outfield, first base, and bullpen. The outfield, for instance, is a patchwork of experience, talent, and uncertainty. Aaron Judge's positioning is a huge factor. If Judge moves permanently to first base, it opens up a corner outfield spot, but also shifts defensive responsibilities across the lineup. Players like Dominguez, Bellinger, and Gisam have their own status to consider, whether as free agents or internal options. Cody Bellinger's potential return is an open question, while Gisam seems set to move on. If the Yankees fail to secure key outfield pieces through free agency, they'll have to explore internal promotions, such as bringing up prospects like Spencer Jones or reshuffling existing players to cover gaps. Each decision affects not only the fielding alignment, but also batting order balance, platoon matchups, and overall team chemistry. Pitching adds another layer of uncertainty. The bullpen has been a roller coaster, with some arms showing promise and others struggling with performance or injury concerns. Garrett Cole, in particular, represents both hope and risk. If he returns to full form, the bullpen's depth improves significantly, but if he falters, the Yankees may find themselves scrambling for stability in late-game situations. Other pitchers like Will Warren and Cam Shedler are developing, and their success or failure will influence how aggressively the team pursues external solutions. Starting pitching is similarly complex, with Max Fried dealing with injury setbacks and Redon showing mixed results. The Yankees' ability to rely on their rotation and bullpen in the postseason will be pivotal, and any offseason moves must take these variables into account. Then there's the broader roster strategy. First base, for example, is not just a position, it's a strategic fulcrum. If Aaron Judge moves there, it affects not only the outfield, but also lineup construction, defensive shifts, and the utilization of bench players. The team has to ask itself whether existing options like Ryan McMahon provide enough firepower or if a more dynamic solution is necessary. Each potential move carries cascading consequences across multiple positions, which is why the front office needs a clear, cohesive plan rather than isolated reactions to individual problems. Adding to the complexity is the uncertainty surrounding managerial direction. Aaron Boone's tenure is widely seen as likely coming to an end, unless the team makes a deep and impressive playoff run. Whoever steps into the managerial role next will have their own vision for the team, which can drastically affect player evaluation and positioning. Some managers may favor Rice over Wells, while others may prefer giving Rutman a chance as a primary catcher. Decisions about who handles key roles, who gets playing time, and how development is prioritized will influence every roster move, including trades, promotions, and contract negotiations. In short, the choice of manager is a variable that could change the trajectory of the entire offseason strategy. From a long-term perspective, the Yankees are balancing immediate competitiveness with sustainable development. They have young talent in the system that needs to be nurtured, veterans whose contracts and health require careful management, and free agents whose decisions will impact payroll flexibility and roster composition. The catchers, shortstops, outfielders, and first basemen are all interrelated. A single decision in one area can create opportunities or challenges in others, which is why the potential addition of a player like Rutman is more than just a trade. It's a strategic lever that could influence multiple facets of the roster. Consider also the mental and leadership aspects of the team. Bringing in a player with Rutman's experience could provide a stabilizing presence, mentoring younger players while contributing on the field. Conversely, keeping Rice and Wells in prominent roles could maintain continuity and reward development. Balancing these elements requires not just statistical analysis, but a deep understanding of clubhouse dynamics and player psychology. The Yankees front office, along with the incoming manager, will have to evaluate these human factors just as carefully as they assess numbers and contracts. And let's not forget the timing element. Off-season decisions are rarely made in isolation. Free agency, trade deadlines, and minor league development all converge in a relatively narrow window, forcing the team to make calculated moves under pressure. Every choice comes with opportunity costs. Committing to Rutman might mean passing on other trade targets or reallocating funds that could have gone to pitching or outfield depth. Conversely, prioritizing a different position could leave the team vulnerable at catcher. It's a balancing act that requires vision, patience, and sometimes a willingness to take calculated risks. Looking at all these angles together, it becomes clear that the Yankees' offseason is shaping up to be one of the most intricate and consequential in recent memory. From catcher performance and shortstop uncertainty to outfield flexibility, first base alignment, bullpen reliability, managerial philosophy, and long-term talent development, the team is navigating a web of interdependent decisions. The potential acquisition of Adley Rutman isn't just a single headline. It's a focal point in a larger strategy that could redefine the team's competitive outlook for years to come. Each scenario carries risk and reward, and the outcomes will depend on careful planning, shrewd management, and perhaps a bit of calculated boldness from the front office. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Pete Alonso's sudden arrival at the New York Yankees has sent shockwaves throughout Major League Baseball, and whispers of this move have been circulating in locker rooms, sports bars, and social media feeds alike. Rumors suggest that the Yankees front office had been quietly pursuing a marquee slugger for months, and Alonso, known for his prodigious power at the plate and uncanny ability to deliver in high-pressure situations, became the centerpiece of this unexpected acquisition. Fans and analysts alike are speculating how Alonso's addition could completely reshape the Yankees lineup, potentially turning them into an unstoppable offensive juggernaut. Insiders hint that the negotiations were intense and secretive, with both parties reportedly working under a veil of extreme confidentiality to prevent leaks that could have triggered bidding wars or media scrutiny. Some sources suggest that Alonso himself was initially hesitant about leaving his previous team, but the allure of playing in New York, combined with promises of a pivotal role in the Yankees' championship ambitions, ultimately swayed him. In clubhouses across the league, players are reportedly buzzing about how Alonso's presence might disrupt traditional dynamics, as his leadership style and competitive edge could inspire teammates while simultaneously placing enormous pressure on opponents. Speculation is rampant about how the Yankees will adjust their strategy to accommodate a player of Alonso's caliber, and every game in the upcoming season is now expected to carry added intrigue. Beyond the mere addition of his bat, Alonso's arrival at Yankee Stadium is being dissected by commentators and fans with meticulous detail, examining not only his historical performance metrics, but also the psychological impact of having a player with his stature in the clubhouse. Rumors suggest that Alonso's work ethic is both inspiring and intimidating, with teammates noticing his rigorous routines, late-night video sessions, and relentless focus on improving his swing mechanics. Analysts argue that this could create a ripple effect across the team, pushing existing sluggers and emerging prospects to elevate their own games to match Alonso's intensity, resulting in a team-wide renaissance of competitive spirit. There is also speculation regarding how the Yankees' pitching staff might be affected indirectly, as having a guaranteed run producer in the lineup could shift the way managers call games, potentially allowing pitchers to take more risks, knowing that Alonso can change the scoreboard with a single swing. Fans, meanwhile, are flooding forums and social media platforms with debates about where Alonso will bat, how often he will be in the lineup, and whether this move signals a broader strategy of aggressive mid-season acquisitions. Industry insiders hint at hidden clauses in the contract, performance incentives, and perhaps even personal endorsements that align Alonso's off-field branding with the Yankees' iconic image. The overarching buzz is that Alonso's arrival is not merely a roster change. It is a potential cultural shift, a catalyst that could redefine how the Yankees approach both the mental and physical aspects of baseball. As whispers continue to swirl, speculation has intensified regarding how rival teams will respond to the Yankees' blockbuster acquisition. Sources close to the league suggest that front offices from coast to coast are nervously analyzing their own rosters, wondering if Alonso's presence alone could swing the balance of power in the American League. Baseball insiders claim that scouting reports are being rewritten overnight to include potential matchups against Alonso, projecting not only his batting tendencies, but also the strategic adaptations opposing managers will need to employ to minimize his impact. Rumors circulating indicate that some teams might aggressively pursue their own marquee signings to counterbalance the Yankees' newfound offensive threat, potentially triggering a domino effect of trades, contracts, and mid-season shuffles unseen in recent memory. Social media conversations reflect a mix of awe, anxiety, and sheer anticipation, as fans debate the immediate and long-term consequences of Alonso joining a team already laden with talent. Some analysts hint that his integration into the Yankees clubhouse could influence not just on-field performance, but the broader team culture, fostering an environment where high stakes and elevated expectations become norm. There is even chatter about the potential psychological warfare Alonso could unleash as pitchers try to navigate the mental challenge of facing someone with both raw power and a reputation for clutch hitting. This rumor mill suggests that every at-bat, every swing, and every game could now carry magnified significance in a season that is already brimming with tension and potential drama. Beyond the tangible effects on the field, speculation is rampant about the marketing and commercial implications of Alonso joining the Yankees. Rumors hint at a surge in merchandise sales, ticket demand, and corporate sponsorships, as fans clamor for memorabilia and the opportunity to witness a player of Alonso's stature in person. Industry observers suggest that this move could redefine the Yankees' financial strategy, elevating ticket prices and broadcast revenues, while simultaneously creating unique marketing campaigns tailored around Alonso's persona. Some whispers suggest secret preseason events or media appearances are being planned to maximize public attention, blending both spectacle and sports in a way that only a franchise of the Yankees' prominence can orchestrate. In parallel, insiders speculate that Alonso's arrival might prompt cultural shifts within the fanbase itself, igniting renewed passion among casual observers while solidifying long-term loyalty among diehard supporters. Analysts also conjecture about how Alonso's off-field presence might influence younger athletes, serving as a symbol of what dedication and performance excellence can achieve. Behind the scenes, rumors of strategy meetings, joint training sessions, and even psychological coaching aimed at integrating Alonso seamlessly into the team hint at meticulous planning. The overarching narrative suggests that his presence is more than athletic. It is a multifaceted phenomenon that touches culture, commerce, and team dynamics, creating an ecosystem where anticipation, scrutiny, and excitement intertwine at every level. Finally, the ongoing chatter within baseball circles emphasizes the uncertainty and exhilaration surrounding Alonso's Yankees debut, painting a picture of a season poised for unprecedented drama. Rumors abound regarding how teammates will adapt to his leadership style, whether the coaching staff will modify game plans, and if rival teams will experience heightened pressure when facing the Yankees in high-stakes matchups. Fans speculate endlessly about potential record-breaking home runs, clutch performances, and how Alonso's bat might define critical moments in the postseason. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.